Welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. The media having a field day with the announcement today by Michelle Bachmann that she will not seek re-election. She said on her website in a video, among other things, that she says that a president of the United States can only serve 8 years, and she thinks that's just about enough time for any member of Congress to serve as well, and this would be 8 years coming up for her. Joining us now to talk about that and much, much more is Christopher Hahn. He's a liberal or progressive political commentator. You've seen him all over the place, including Fox News. And welcome. Good to see you.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you. All right. Well, what is the left's fascination? You just heard Stephanopoulos and Jonathan Karl talk about her as target number one for so many in the Democratic Party, and now she's not going to be there to go after.
Well, I mean, she loved to demagogue, and demagoguery can only last so long. And I know that I'm going to miss her. Personally, as a pundit, I feel that her retirement's really going to impact me personally, because she would always say something that was so outlandish that I could just point to and say, see where the right wing is. That's where she is. And I think it's great for the Republican Party that people like her are stepping aside, because look, she really was not the person you wanted out there being a spokesman, and she was so articulate and quite frankly attractive that the media was always putting her on, and she always said something that got people talking on the left and the right, and it usually wasn't a good thing for the Republicans.
Well, it wasn't a good thing for the Republican Party because if you went along with how the media and folks like you, no offense, because you're on the left, would spin it and interpret it and make her into some kind of crazy lady. I mean, I could play you sound bites for "Look at her eyes" from Chris. She's crazy. But the fact of the matter is, I could play you Nancy Pelosi with insane statements. I could play you Debbie Wasserman Schultz lying, so much so that the Israeli ambassador called her a liar. That Anderson Cooper took her to task for lying. I mean, to her face, because but they get a pass because they're on the left side.
But you got to look at it this way. It wasn't. Sure, I think every politician you could point to one or two statements where they may have lied or stretched the truth or exaggerated or said something crazy. Michelle was kind of like, what time of day is it? Is she talking in front of a microphone? She's saying something crazy, and that's just the way it is.
Well,
and the Republicans know that.
Well,
let's talk about the HP vaccine issue during the debates, where she said, look, it's causing people to become, mentally.
There have been studies where there are girls who have suffered, illnesses that have affected them for the rest of their lives. Not what she was talking about. She
was saying that vaccine was causing them to, quote, become, quote, retarded. I mean, that's a pretty ridiculous statement for her to make. She's no doctor. I mean, she's a lawyer, and as a fellow attorney, I do pretend to know everything.
So the HPV virus injection or a vaccine that was mandated in the state of Texas, for instance, has no ill effects and doesn't cause any debilitating after effects that last a lifetime. And there's been no cases of that.
Not in great numbers, and look, it's been proven safe. That's why the state of Texas and many other states have considered it.
I'd go to jail first. Never, ever, ever. And they want to give it to boys. My son. I'm talking about a boy. Just crazy to mandate that kind of stuff. There's been all kinds of reports. But see, these are issues we could disagree on, but the media jumps on her because they had this obsession with Michelle Bachmann.
I mean, would you be comfortable with her as the Republican standard bearer in 2016? Would you vote for her?
I don't think she would be the Republican standard. You mean as presidential candidate? Is that what you're talking about?
Would you be comfortable with Michelle Bachmann as the presidential candidate?
I think Michelle Bachmann energizes a base of the party that's very important and that love her and support her.
Right.
I think she's on the correct side of the issues, and more mainstream than Barack Obama on the issues of on the issues of abortion and right and life issues.
She's the most anti-choice person in Congress.
And Barack Obama is the most anti-life person.
Well, most Americans are pro-choice.
No,
I mean, it is what it is.
No.
There's a right to privacy. It's in the Constitution.
No. Most Americans would not be in favor of what Gosnell has done, would not be in favor, and that's what Barack Obama voted for. Maybe not killing the babies, but he voted against protecting babies born alive of botched abortions. And if the Republicans would take the offensive and point this out instead of running away from it, America would be outraged. He said, "I don't want my daughter to be punished with a baby." Now, I don't think anybody would consider a baby a punishment.
If she becomes the Republican nominee, I'm going to be real happy.
She's not going to be the Republican nominee.
I would be.
I'm just pointing out the double standard by the media.
I would like I don't even know. I don't even think I'd work that year. I think it would be like what? I don't know. I mean, it would be the easiest. Think about the late night comedy.
Well,
think about it. The Daily Show clips. Please, Michelle, run.
That's the thing, and there's plenty on the other side, but they don't go there. All right, let's move on to Eric Holder. Is he going to survive this?
Yeah, look, I mean, he's like a weeble. He wobbles, but he doesn't fall down. The president has expressed.
Won't get him either.
I don't think he's perjured himself.
Really?
I mean, there's.
You want to hear the cut? What was that? That Holder cut? 32, or was it, or one of the 30s? Just let me know when you got it. And well, you can't hear it anyway, so it doesn't pay to play it
well,
right now.
Well, you know what it is. You know, as an attorney, perjury has a lot to do with intent and relevancy to the case that's at hand.
He said that going after journalists is not something he's ever heard of or considered or done, and blah, blah, blah. Then it comes in, the Justice Department admits, yeah, he signed the subpoena going after James Rosen.
Yeah, well, you sign a lot of things when you're attorney general. You get a lot of things come across your desk. Sometimes you should read them a little bit more carefully. But I will tell you.
Oh, so he didn't know what he was signing? Is that the new spin?
I'm not trying to spin it. I don't like this whole wiretapping subpoena thing. I don't like it. I've been very critical of the Justice Department on this. I've been critical of the president on this. I've been critical of Congress for not passing very strong media shield laws. Look, the president is pushing for one. I think it's strong. I think it's a good first step. I don't think it's strong enough. And I think that what we need to understand in this country is that the founders made the First Amendment about freedom of speech, the first one.
Well, why?
And I don't want to sacrifice liberty for security in this country.
Well, why is this the only? You mean that the poor Obama administration has to have their hands tied because they can't control abusing the First Amendment? No other administration has ever done, or Justice Department has ever done, what this one has done against the media. Why do they need a law protecting the media? Why can't they just act like any other Justice Department has acted?
I think my friend Judith Miller over at Fox would disagree with you. She spent about a year in prison.
But they went
under the Bush administration's Justice Department.
We have Judy Miller on at least once a week. Judy Miller is outraged by this. She calls it unprecedented. There's a procedure that's usually followed and always has been followed, where the Justice Department goes to the journalist or goes to the organization and negotiates and talks. Not this Justice Department.
I can't defend it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I am a guy who believes in liberty over security. I don't like this at all. And I think that the Congress on the left and the right should come together and agree with me that this kind of stuff is that is wrong. Republicans have blocked media shield laws in the past, and this president hasn't pushed hard enough for it. I think, a pox on both our houses here. Oh. We have to be very, very careful in this country where we're justifying everything because of national security reasons since 9/11. We've been going down a slippery slope towards totalitarianism, and it started in 2001 and it continues today.
Again,
and I know we're not there yet. And I'm not saying we're anywhere close to it, but we've got to stop.
Again, it didn't happen under Bush. Notwithstanding the cries from the left that these people were Nazis and everything else in the book, Cheney and Bush and Gonzalez and all the attorney generals. The point of the matter is they didn't do any of what this administration is doing with regard to civil liberties, with regard to
No, I don't like it. I'm not going to defend it.
So we're on the same page. Right now, what about the IRS and the fact that now we were finding out that it wasn't people in Cincinnati? There were requests from Washington. They're not naming names yet, but higher ups in the IRS that were involved in asking about conservative groups. And you have Lois Lerner, who now she may have, and you're an attorney, may have revoked her right to the Fifth Amendment by first making an opening statement. They're going to call her back. And also, you got the woman who was in charge in the first place of these 401c groups and the tax-free status.
Well,
she's now going to head. She's now in charge of the healthcare version of the IRS. She got a promotion.
Well, let me dismiss the Lois Lerner thing first. You have a right against discriminating evidence, testifying against yourself. She could say whatever she wants, and she could say, "I don't want to say whatever I want." That's the Fifth Amendment as I read it.
But she defended herself first.
She could defend herself, and then she could say, "No, I'm not going to answer any more questions. It's going to incriminate me." I think that she's perfectly within her right to do that.
That's a different take than people like Dershowitz and others.
That's my take, and we'll see what other people. I'm no Dershowitz.
Yeah, okay.
But, I went to St. John's, not Harvard.
Okay.
But on the other part of this 501c4 thing, I used to run United Way of Long Island. I still sit on a lot of nonprofit boards. I think that. Look, I don't like the fact that they discriminated against one type of group, but I don't think any of these political groups that have sprung up since Citizens United should have 501c4 status. And my biggest concern now is that there's going to be a chilling effect at the IRS and other enforcement agencies to go after groups, political groups, who should not be having not-for-profit status. They're political groups, they're campaign groups. Now, Should we be discriminating, pulling out specific words? No, unless we're doing it on all sides, not just Tea Party, but everything. What political language can we put in there in the search of these groups to find out who they are and put a little bit more scrutiny on them? I do believe the Tea Party groups should have more scrutiny, but not just the Tea Party groups. There are plenty of groups on the left that deserve it as well.
All right. Well, the equal opportunity scrutinizer, I guess. All right, Christopher Hahn, a political commentator from the left. You see him on the tube all the time. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it very much.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you. When we come back, there's new news on Iran, and Lignet has it, and we'll talk with Fred Fleitz, the chief analyst at Lignet, as the Steve Malzberg Show continues. Don't go away.
The Steve Malzberg Show.